Hello there and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So today on this episode, we're going to talk about learning to go with the flow of things. And I know sometimes this can be really annoying, right? Because we have our own timeline. We want things to happen in a certain time, and we get frustrated when it doesn't happen in our own specific time that we think it should happen at, right? And I remember years ago, I think I was probably in college, my undergrad. I say college, but college was was a lot of years with my graduate degrees. But I think I was in undergrad when I first said this to somebody, and I had told them, I make plans and God laughs at them. And it was just kind of my funny way to accept that things don't happen on my timeline. And I also believe that that's why God gave me the desire to have 4 children, because with 4 children, there is really nothing that's going to go according to my plan. Nothing at all. And then throw in having a military spouse. He did retire about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. But it was very much like, here, Steph, let's give you a whole bunch of lessons on how to not control life, because you can't, right? And so I remember a few years ago, it was, I think in 2020, I had connected with some very, very cool women in a Voxer kind of mastermind that I had put together. And I was getting really frustrated with my lack of progress. I guess I felt like I wasn't getting any results. And I remember Voxering, messaging in this group. If you're not familiar with Voxer, it's this voice messaging app where you can send voice memos, right? It's similar to text messaging, but it's just a separate app. And I use it for all my clients. And so I'm in there and I'm sending this message through Voxer, and I got this visual, and it was this babbling stream, right? Not necessarily like a little tiny stream. Like there were parts of this river that were like raging, like rapids kind of thing. And I remember sending this message and, talking about how frustrated and annoyed and whatever I was. And this visual that came up was me carrying a raft, trying to trek it upstream. Yeah. So imagine wearing some galoshes, being kind of stubborn that you don't like where the river's going, and you decide to take it upon yourself to backtrack, to go upstream, because where you're headed, where this stream is going, you don't want to go there. And life can kind of feel that way sometimes. And when I got this image, I also got this little nudge of, it'd be a whole lot easier, Steph, if you just sat in the raft and went with it. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. And it brings me to this idea or this thought, whatever, that I'm sure we've all heard a million times: what you resist persists. And so me trying to fight my way upstream was going to be a continuous battle until I just learned to accept that the things were unfolding the way that they were unfolding, and it is what it is. And not everybody loves that. There is a part of me that cringes just saying that. And then there's a part of me that goes, okay, it is what it is. How do I respond? Because that's the thing that I can actually control is my response to it. And so I remember having this conversation with these amazing women in this Voxer chat when I was trying to shut down my spiritual gifts, trying to make myself smaller and not tap into the spiritual magic or the connection, the channel that I was definitely getting access to. And it was just interesting that I had this visual of this river, like just sit down and see where it takes you. Enjoy the ride. Parts of it might be a little bit scary while you're going through these raging rapids, and some of it's going to be calm and serene, and you love the water. So why don't you just chill out and see where it takes you? But not all of us trust that life will unfold that way for us. We're scared that if we relax into it, something that we don't want to happen might happen. We're scared that if we open ourselves up too much, that we make room for someone to hurt us. And so we put these walls up and we decide that we are just going to take things into our own hands. We're going to trek up the stream. We're going to make our own path, right? And then we get frustrated. And then we get beaten by the waves and by the stream. And then we think that life is out to get us simply because we think we can do it ourselves. All of it. All of it. But if you just let things happen, you get the skills and the knowledge and the wisdom and all the things that you need along the way for whatever shows up ahead of you, right? The best way to learn how to ride rapids is to ride rapids. The best way to learn how to relax in a calm little swell is to relax in a calm little swell. I was in a seminar recently and they said, the best way to learn the way is on the way. But so many of us don't ever want to step into the river because we want to know exactly where it's going, how we're going to get there, how long it's going to take, what the navigation of the river is, that we don't ever actually sit back and enjoy the process of it all. We just want to know how. How does it all work out? Well, let me give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. If you knew exactly how it was all going to work out, you'd stop doing the thing. Because there'd be no surprise in it. There'd be no growth. There'd be no learning in it. If you woke up tomorrow and there was a book on your desk that told you exactly how the rest of your life was going to work, what would be the point? Why would you keep going if you already knew all the things that was going to happen? But this is where we get caught up in our own stuff. Where we think, once I know the way, then I'll feel safe to take the risk. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Right? If you jump out of a plane, you don't really know if the parachute's going to work until you jump out of the plane. Right? I know, I've jumped out of a plane before. And the parachute worked. Thank God. And I screamed terror all the way down. And I would do it again. So I say all of this because there are going to be things that come up in life that irritate you, that frustrate you, that anger you, that you feel like you can't get past. But the more we resist the lesson that's coming through, the more we resist the thing, the more it actually hangs out until we learn the lesson. Right? I know that I've had bouts of depression, mostly during military deployments, where I am doing all the things by myself. And it's exhausting and frustrating, and it makes you feel a little bit worthless, right? Because you're like, there's all these things that I could be doing, but I have no energy to do any of the things. I don't want to do any of that stuff. And when it comes to those things, I know that for me, and again, I'm only speaking from my experience because everybody handles everything differently. This is not Stephanie trying to be a therapist. This is simply me sharing what worked for me. It was a surrendering moment that broke the sadness and the depression and the downward spiral and the negative thinking. It was, I'm so tired of trying to fight this on my own. I cannot fight it anymore. And it was a surrendering moment. It wasn't a, I'm throwing in the towel and I'm done. It was, I can't do this on my own. I've tried all the human ways to do this. I need something divine to come in. And when we can learn to build that relationship and to build that trust, we know we're not doing any of it alone, and we can kind of go with the flow. And then you have this beautiful power where you can go, you know what? It is what it is. How do I respond? There's nothing I can do about that situation. How do I respond? Right? To put this in very simple terms, it's like, and I've shared this with you a bunch of times, but this is like the most beautiful part of all of it. It was like, okay, there's always going to be laundry. So how do I want to choose to respond to laundry? Well, I actually came up with this really incredible affirmation recently. I love it so much, I'm going to share it with you. I haven't shared it with, I've shared it with some people, but not everyone. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Simply because money is, or laundry is so paramount to my story anyways. All right, let's see. Okay, so I shared this, what is the information on this date? Let's see, on this note, no idea. Okay, so I shared this in a Facebook group about a month ago, and it was, I finally found a money mantra I can get behind. Money is like laundry. It's everywhere, there's always plenty of it, and no matter how often I think I'm done, there's more. And to me, it was just, it resonated so much because I'm not a messy person, right? My house is clean and tidy, but there is laundry everywhere. I have 4 kids and a husband, and not all of them know how to put their laundry away in a laundry bag. And I will find socks shoved in between couch cushions. I will find socks on coffee tables and pillows and on the, bedroom floor, and towels on the bathroom floor. And like, it was just a fun reminder where my soul was like, let's not take this seriously. Let money be everywhere, just like your laundry and your toys are everywhere right now in this stage of motherhood. Let this be something that you can resonate with. And I was like, this is so fun. I love this, right? So I am going to sign off here. I've got another episode I'm going to record, but I just want you to know that I am in the process of filling, excuse me, a little bit of a burp. Okay. I am filling a program called Love and Money Masterclass, the feminine energetics of receiving. This program has been on my heart for a few years now, and it is now the correct timing. And so it will be starting the first week of December, week-long program. And it is about the feminine energetics of receiving. If this is calling to you, you're like, that might be a thing that I want to do. That's something that I want to find out about. Or if you know within your soul that this is the thing, you're like, you know what? The feminine energetics of receiving, that's something that I need because what I'm doing right now isn't working. It's because you're pushing in your masculine. That flow of life is the feminine. That's the way things are, just effortlessly. That program, $777, if it's something that you are interested in, something that you feel is the right thing for you, please reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram. You can head over to my website, stephaniesnyderphd.com. The link for that program is on my website as well. It's called Love and Money Masterclass, the feminine energetics of receiving. It's beautiful. and I am so excited for it. And I know that there are people who want this kind of a program. And so I'm excited for those of you who will be joining me. And if you don't feel that it's right for you, that's cool. There is no pressure here. If you do feel that it's something that you're being called towards, definitely reach out to me. Would love to have a conversation with you about it. Or if you're like, yep, that's a thing for me, you can head over to my website and go ahead and sign up for that. You'll get more details as I get closer to it. So I'm not going to spill all the beans right now, but that's where we're at. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.